Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Evening, welcome to the evening news on Adoatv, coming to you live from our studios on the John Evans at Mills High Street in Accra. My name is Benedicta Dodu, and the evening news is brought to you by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Verna Mineral Water, and Blue City Ties and Accessories. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. Now let's take a look at our top stories for tonight's bulletin. The minority in Parliament have declared their utmost support for the passage of the anti-LGBTQ bill at a press briefing earlier today, and we will shed more light on that story. The Comptroller and Accountant General's Department has affirmed its directive of freezing salaries of public sector workers who haven't registered for their Ghana card yet, and will also bring you more on that. In Business Tonight, government has been applauded for its Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. And finally, in entertainment, we will bring you major highlights of this year's Adoa Festival, which began on Tuesday. Moving on to our first story, the NDC caucus in Parliament have declared their utmost support for the passage of the anti-LGBTQI+ bill, that is the Promotion of Proper Human Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021. Addressing the parliamentary press call earlier today, the minority leader Haruna Idrisu stated that the minority caucus will support the bill's introduction, formalization and legalization.
We, the NDC Minority Caucus, remain resolute in our opposition to the introduction, formalization, and legalization of LGBTQI+ in its entirety, in whatever shape, form, or character. We stand united opposed to it. The caucus therefore supports the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, otherwise called the Anti-LGBTQI+ Bill.
According to the minority leader, members of Parliament have an obligation to protect the moral fibre of the Ghanaian society with the passage of this bill.
It is our belief that we, as representatives of the good people of Ghana, have an obligation to protect the moral fiber of Ghanaian society, to promote the cohesion and unity of our country, and more importantly, to preserve its time-tested cultural practices and beliefs, which has kept us together as one country.
Adding his voice to the argument raised by many on the violation of human rights should the anti-LGBTQ+ bill be passed, the minority leader said.
There are those who claim that the LGBTQI is a matter of human rights. Let me remind them that when in 1960, Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 was passed, where were those rights? Where were those rights? So if you go back to memory lane, as representative of the people, as I said, Ghanaians agreed to punish any person involved in having unnatural carnal knowledge with another. Specifically, Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, prohibits us from having unnatural carnal knowledge. There are those who are overstretching those rights to absurdity, indeed incredible absurdity. May I ask, when they say that they are promoting those rights, is it to be placed under the UN Charter adopted in 1945? Is it to be placed under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted in 1948? Is it to be put in the context of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights entered into force in 1976, or the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights entered into force in 1976? We know, this minority caucus know, as a matter of fact, a matter of history, that the world have passed through 3 generations of rights. The first generation relating to civil and political rights, the second generation on economic, social, and cultural rights, and third generation, collective solidarity rights. It did not contemplate LGBTQI rights, nothing more. Therefore, we cannot find legal space for those arguing on this particular matter, rather than stretching it to those absurdity and absurd limits.
However, Mr. Idrisu was of the view that all and sundry must endeavor to protect the Ghanaian family views.
The collective morality and natural order of things rests on the hands of Ghana's 275 parliamentarians, majority and minority, so that when we pass this anti-LGBTQI bill, and all the righteousness it represents, men will say 1,000 years from today that this was our finest hour in every sense of that expression. And we want to be recognized historically as belonging to this category of persons.
Subsequently, the Tamale South legislator assured that the NDC minority would not fail Ghanaians.
Commend those courageous members for making all of us proud and for making Ghana proud. I've heard that we are united, and I believe that we are united. Certain issues of significance either make or put asunder the collective or unity of a people of a nation at critical moments in its history. This is one, and the Parliament of Ghana must stand the litmus test. It will be a watershed decision for the country, and I assure you, if anybody fails you, not the NDC minority.
Meanwhile, the minority leader has disclosed that the minority caucus of the 8th Parliament will demand a clause-by-clause vote on the anti-LGBTQI+ bill during proceedings. He noted that they will ensure that all 257 members of Parliament will get counted. He also gave some clarification on Article 108 and the powers of the Right Honourable Speaker in the passage of this bill.
We in the minority will insist a clause-by-clause vote on every word, every accompanying sentence. We will insist on a vote, including amendment to any provision. Arguably, as is provided for in Standing Order 129 at the consideration stage of the bill 129A, Mr. Speaker shall call the number of each clause, and the clerk shall read the marginal note opposed to each clause or notes on top of each clause, and if no amendment is offered, Mr. Speaker shall, after each clause has been called, put the question that clause so and so stand part of the bill. I do not think that the Speaker participates in this process other than being a guardian of the practice and procedure of Parliament, consistent with the 1992 Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament. Indeed, Article 108 provides A, proceed upon a bill, including an amendment to a bill, that in the opinion of the person presiding, in the opinion of the person presiding. Person presiding referred to as the Speaker of Parliament makes provision for any of the following. I'm sure the Speaker rightfully and faithfully made a determination on the matter before the bill was introduced and accordingly referred to the appropriate constitutional review, the appropriate committee of Parliament to examine it and report back to plenary. I've heard even arguments to the extent that where does the Speaker stand? Let me remind ladies and gentlemen of the press that the Speaker of Parliament and every other Speaker of Parliament, past or present, are citizens of Ghana first and leaders of the country and have a right to espouse their principles and values on any matter of national interest or national concern. They are expected to provide nothing more than leadership. And those of you who are familiar with lawmaking, may I refer to my standing orders. It does not mean that Speaker Alban Sumana Bagbin will reduce himself when we get to the nitty-gritty of the consideration stage of the bill in accordance with the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana. Be assured. And we want every member of Parliament, I'm not referring just to one side, to get counted and to stand to be counted as reflecting the aspirations of the Ghanaian people where they want this country to stand.
Head of Public Relations at the Controller and Accountants General Department, Cephas Nadusu, has affirmed the directives of the department not to withdraw its directives of freezing salaries of public sector workers who haven't registered with the National Identification Authority, NIA, hence do not have the Ghana cards yet. Mr. Dusu explained by Section 8, Clause 4 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, which mandates the Controller and Accountants General Department to, among other functions, receive, disburse, and provide secured custody for public funds. He further argued that the department was dealing with over 300,000 to 500,000 workers, which needs accurate measures to ensure the integrity of the payroll at all times. Mr. Dusu educated the public sector workers to acquire the cards before the deadline, December 1st, 2021. The directive, which was given out on Tuesday, 12th October 2021, warned that government workers without ID cards would not be paid from 1st December 2021. We appreciate the concerns by our unions because they are our major stakeholders, but what we will say is that we need to urge our colleague workers to avail themselves and go through the registration process. For now, the deadline is not today, and so the best thing to do is to avail ourselves, he added. From that, Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey has said some members of his own party, the New Patriotic Party, are scheming to bring him down because they claim he is becoming too powerful. He said these persons are holding series of meetings on how to execute their plans against him.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey has alleged that some members in the ruling New Patriotic Party (NPP) are against his works in the capital city. According to Mr. Quartey, some of his party members allege that he is becoming too famous and powerful in the party. Speaking at the NPP's Greater Accra Regional Delegate Conference in Accra, the Ayawaso Central MP said some elements within his own party are unhappy with his work and are plotting to thwart his efforts. He told the gathering of NPP delegates that he is taking precautions in ensuring that he delivers on his mandate as expected.
We sit here and we say, break the eight, break the eight, break the eight. And you are holding meetings amongst yourself to bring somebody down. Kekoko will break the eight. Me, today, I am sad. And I'll tell you why. When Mr. President gave me the position to be the regional minister, I had one thing in mind. to ensure that by the grace of God, I am able to unite the party from the grassroots. That I have been doing. But I thought that's what they did to me and other MPs who are sitting here now. They had a meeting just last week. And the plan was that Henry is becoming too powerful in the region. And one of the Kassan said, oh, I feel like, hey, region, you know what they are, hey, region. You can go about Tabi, go break the eight. You have to break the eight. I am only trying to work with all of us to ensure that the party is strong at the base. So by the grace of God, as Lord Kobe said, we shall continue. But all we care is our personal ambition. We have to begin to look at the symbol, the elephants, and think collectively. Actually, we have an agenda to continue to break the eights.
The Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, has rescheduled his intended demonstration over deplorable roads in his constituency to Monday, October 25th, 2021. This follows police correspondence that it cannot provide security for the demonstration during its initial set date for October 18th, 2021. The police says the protest must be deferred to a later date due to the upcoming Ghana School of Law students demonstration and the regional tour by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Member of Parliament Francis Xavier Susu has rescheduled his demonstration against bad roads in his constituency on October 25, 2021. According to the MP, the demonstration, which is to take place in the constituency, was to bring down government's attention to the poor nature of the road network in the communities and how there the situation was having a toll on community life. He also stated residents and motorists have had to deal with the situation for years and do not understand why the constituency has been left out of benefiting from a fair share of national development. I refer to your letter dated 11th October 2021, your notice of public protest and demonstration in accordance with Section 1 of the Public Order Act 1994, Act 491. We humbly wish you reschedule your intended public protest to Monday 25th October 2021 to enable us to provide you with maximum security, the police says in a statement. Meanwhile, in a separate memo, the MP acknowledged the concerns raised by the police and promised to act accordingly, being committed to the cause of the law students and also hopeful that the president's tour will take him through some of the bad roads in Medina for him not to be surprised at our upcoming demonstration. I advise the chiefs and elders and people of Ahimensa Kweman, Damfa Doteyman, Otimbi and Amahia to reschedule the demonstration, the lawmaker noted. Also, Mr. Xavier Susu says all previous arrangements, time, venue and route remain the same. He says the protest would ram home their demands and compel the government to quickly step in. However, he stated whenever there is a downpour, part of Medina constituency continue to flood due to clogged drain. Roads become unmotorable and in some cases, residents have to suffer long hours of traffic.
Every human being is known to have some percentage of mental disorder. Mood swings are emotional feeling bound to occur amongst humans. However, persons living with a bipolar disorder experience a lot of mood swings and emotional stress known as manic depressive illness. Many conversations and analysis have been made and research has finalized that bipolar patients live amongst us. Nanaya Ado has more.
According to the director, transportation and production of guns around the country used for criminal activities require much attention and tackled with force by state authorities to, if not eradicate, reduce the number of such occurrences. During a speech at a 3-day dialogue to determine vulnerabilities and resilience in peace infrastructures in West Africa in Cape Coast, Professor Enin stated much needs to be done in order to find out where the criminals get their guns from and how they are able to get them across the country and into the country. The Director of Faculty of Academic Affairs of Research of the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center further went on to explain that the dialogue feeds into a wider mission and vision of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center to add up to creating a peaceful and conducive environment in Ghana and West Africa's sub-region. As claimed by him, Ghana is beginning to see more violent response, more daring crimes from pump actions guns to military-grade weapons, and on a rising pace, a societal acceptance of the benefits arising out of the violence and crimes. He added that the guns used for criminal activities and violence comes from within the country. What that means is that we need to ask ourselves very difficult questions that, if criminals get access to all manners of guns, including military-grade guns, then it means that Ghana has created a fertile ground both for the acquisition of the necessary.
Now, just imagine your wedded husband abandoning you for another lady years after marriage. Then 2 years on, he comes back, apologizing for you to accept him because he's sick and the side chick has ditched him. As a wife who has children with this man, would you forgive him and accept him again? Some Ghanaian women have been sharing their thoughts with Jessica Baini.
Oh, my dream training say, Obi oya wukrum bia ya wunia. And I say, why yari or home or baffle no din chikoye. All but no di yari and a buyer. Say a wunia, won't to mean pamono. Ube acceptino, ube to me abuano, asani yari. Ube on pen and yamiji to mu, nasa ni hutono. Nasa still or do so new better as a wife or who coin because. Why wunia it won't mean to name trust who cano miss soon near a two no a bit to me at two. Our dear bibia to me see Bema bibe to me at dadami. Now my dream after me kunso at the nature. And to me so me corner say and see me ye na me bed chinebia Bema no warrior now no super or accept me as no see any pa. And to the same way no su corners on no super. This way, I say me open up, man. It be an army to me to me worry, me domiku, and tell no dear.
I saw the open work of fun. On an open, and no jam it didn't work with it. Into the open work of fun. Minion, there's a coin, your ma with Numidian Colano, Eddie. What time baby no new bar, enjoy intimacy, member. This is all quiet as a baby quiet. Thank God, no so. Kawan, this was our bad dear minion on Vanco baby. I said, the end of Colao. And Colao, 18 and Nemao Hunty, or the Sicaba de any bit. As a mission, dear, and the Abajiscano, not was a yabba. Nasa, say or buy the Emrabatum. Say, I dare one sound could be a mudia. And the Bagina so best I have one dear. And the Obukumvanum.
Oh, so when they are back on a bush and film. It's me, my name, Mammy, who crabby. Sam and Colao, what dear, many were mad dear. Sandy Abia on one can send me some color, maybe I'll call me and I'm sure more. Maybe I will back. So a bar, or no person beginning into a wedding kind, I'm a sicker, but this kind of crab at Cheremy. And son of a casse be as a seer and Bessamy met now in China, I'm sure. And my just can every year. Never was a son of cracker. So I call also all cows or cover of Baffle. Or do you abandon a chicoy? And the midges can never be son and son or ban on a coin or way. So, and to I am so, abandon the son in a jam so. O quiet as some colony, my bomb, Moka, and this is yes, and I'm a virgin, or the Patama Valley. And this I call Trawa, and the Minia bonnet.
with us on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. Now, drawing a beautiful work of art on some parts of your body is a way of upgrading your self-esteem. In Ghana, with a tattoo or piercings, you are or may not be lucky, as you may be tagged a thug. Stay tuned as Rukia Tuamidu and Joyce Anzi have filed a story on this topic with a lady with close to 100 tattoos.
Gone were the days where piercing was practiced in Israel and ancient African cultures. The history of putting sharp objects through the body is dated back almost to 5,000 years ago. Piercings in ancient times could have signified multiple events such as marks of prostitution, the wealth of the husband, gold means balling and silver means squalling, and also demons couldn't enter your brain. Yeah, it was a thing, and slavery depending on the environment the person is. Classically, the term piercing was referred to piercings of the earlobe, but today there are more than 13 different types of piercings you can get, such as lancing, perforating, notching, nibbling, shaving, cut-off, and dinking. Each body can accommodate multiple piercings to the extent that a single person could potentially have 30 plus ear piercings. However, tattoo has also become the trend of fashion which people subscribe to without thinking of the effect it will have on their body. Some are of the view that it takes beauty to another steps. Due to this, Adoa News team visited Art Center, specifically a piercing and tattoo shop, to get more reasons why people get tattoos. We spoke to Mr. Moka, a tattoo artist who aided our conversation.
The motivation behind the tattoo is so deep. You know, tattoo is long tradition art, body art in the whole world and Africa. So, tattoo is a form of art that people used to express themselves most of times. You know, if they have something they can say, they can maybe always say to people, better express themselves with make a tattoo with them. Like maybe if you have a mother who passed away, you like to remember her anytime than say every day that maybe my mama passed away. You can write a name on you, you know. You can draw a picture of her on you so that you can remember her every day. We have types, like let's say designs, different designs, because it's art. It's many. Like with tattoo, we can do it. People can do it and bring it different designs, what they plan, I don't know. So, but it's on their minds. So we tattoo artists just help them make it happen on them. You understand? It was as a joke, and the profession come when it becomes serious. You understand? So I took now as a profession forever. I will do it because I find myself inside. So I'm okay. A day, sometimes there's a week, a day I can have 3 or 5 people a day. So it depends on them and on their mood and all this stuff for them to get attacked. Now, that is very difficult. As I was explaining at the beginning, it's very difficult. Why? Because you need to focus and you have to be able. Like, you don't need to take your mind or distract or anything. You have to focus on it. You know, be able to, use the machine, take time to draw with it, and all this pressure. So it's very, very difficult.
Speaking to Jessica, a married woman with children who is equally obsessed with tattoos, she said her husband and children are happy with her tattoos to the extent that her husband sometimes recommends designs for her. Jessica surprisingly disclosed that she has close to 70 tattoos.
For instance, let's just start with this one. See this here. Such is life. It's such is life. Yeah. Now, I got this when my business collapsed. When you're talking of pain, everybody has the level which they can sustain pain. For me, none of my tattoos ever pained me. I would say that this tattoo is really painful. Although we have some kind of spots that are really painful when you're drawing, especially with your spine, where you have bones, where you have less flesh. Those kind of parts are painful. But for me, I won't say it's really painful. Because in fact, when we done here, I'm even going to the studio to add up some of them. I stopped church way long ago. Why? Because church actually should be the house of God. My father is a pastor. My father is one of those who founded Deeper Life. My father is the one who brought Deeper Christian Life Ministry to Ghana. Yeah. For my children, this is who their mom is. They grew up knowing me like this. I actually have tattoos before I had children, so they knew me with this. This is who their mom is. In fact, they are sometimes proud of me when we go to PTA meeting because among all of them, nobody moms look like their mother. I read about the health benefit of it. Like you having this target here, it relieves migraine. There are some kind of them also, when you do it as a lady, you don't really feel it reduces the cramps when you are having menstruation. There are some of them also, when you do it, it allows the blood to flow through your lungs easily. So for me, I did it for the health benefits. Aside from the fashion, I also love the fashion part of it. But some of them do it for fashion, some also do it for the health benefit. In mine, I combine the two. It has nothing to do with spirituality. It has nothing to do with you being a gay or you being a lesbian. Maybe I'm married to a man.
Watching the evening news on Adoa TV. We'll be right back with more news.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
CB will make up now. I'm not correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. Who anyone? Oh, middle. You captures back on CB men capsules. You see, CB men capsules and America.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules. Now, you knew the data. And one year packaging I had a pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo ben pegi
share apemfo any abata woman kwada no fo any kwada ogun di fie du ye enka ho
Susanna Ghana man be man tamase
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750 FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to some business news now. Government has been applauded for the planting of food and jobs initiative. However, in a yet-to-be-aired interview with my colleague Na Anyama Collison of the Business Desk, General Secretary of the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, Samuel Atu Agri, noted that planting for food shouldn't be from the farm to the market, adding that Ghana should grow what can be processed for export as a country.
Planting for food shouldn't be from the farm to the market. That has been the essence, where we are planting a lot, put it in the market, and feed the people. When it goes off, when the season is not good, when we don't have irrigation, when the rain doesn't fall, what happens? There will be a challenge. And therefore, some of these challenges have been felt this year. Products that are supposed to be harvested within certain times have been rained off by the rain, and those that are supposed to be harvested because of the rain pattern, they are not able to dry up for the harvest to be done. So you look at these ones and you say, is it a good venture? Yes. And then if they're getting the youth into producing more, that is a very good thing to do. We have agronomists also coming into the system. We need to employ them to give the technical advice to these people who are planting for food and jobs, so for them to be able to put their expertise on the field, because we have a lot of them unemployed. This is the time that we need to employ them to offer those expertise to them and then ensure that we benefit. But the most important thing, me as an industry player, if I'm looking at what is coming into the system, then I will ask that people should grow what can be processed for export. As a country, this is what we should be looking at, not by planting anything. If we are planting tomatoes, if we have a glut, what happens? But we should grow tomatoes that someone can easily buy and process them there, because if you plant tomatoes that has high viscosity, it becomes very difficult for them to process it. So the needed seeds ought to be given to these people. The rice sector, we are almost going out of it. In future, we know what we want, and therefore these scientists and all that, and the farmers themselves, they are working towards it. Irrigation farms are being set up for this rice sector. So that we know, with a little more work done, we should be able to overcome it by putting up more silos into the system to be able to be sure that we are able to mop up the paddy rice and store them for some times, dry them up, and then release them as and when we have to release.
General Secretary of the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, Mr. Samuel Atu Agri, has stated that Ghana's production environment should be free for people to invest for local producers to benefit, affirming that things produced here in Ghana could help curtail importation of goods from elsewhere, stressing that it has become a challenge between the association and government.
Even when you are bringing your machinery, if you are not given exemption, you have to pay the full cost of duty. That when you are able to set up, you can deduct that from your taxes. Though no country does that. Our environment should be free for people to be able to invest. Because once you set up the factory, what happens is that you are employing the local people. You might bring one or two expertise from outside, but largely it's the local people who benefits. You pay your taxes to the government.
Labor market.
Everything is within the country, you see. So we look at all these things and then we say, fine, in which way do I want to continue if I want to invest in that area? Then it's better I import, because some people would want to bring in bits and pieces of this and of that. The things that we are producing in this country, some of them, we've been able to stop the import of those products. And gradually, we'll stop the others too. And this is a challenge that is between the association and the government that we have to take up to ensure that these things are done to the benefit of the local producers. So if you are seeing some beverages on the market, it's because these things will have to come in, whatever the costs. And if you have to pay a little more to ensure that the local industry also succeeds, then we have to do that. But sometimes we find the local produce being sold at a very expensive price, even than what is coming in. It's because of the production end. Because by the time you finish producing, the cost has already built up. And therefore, when you are importing, it makes it cheaper. So what you can see sometimes on the market, most of these manufacturers themselves, what they do is that they have one or two lines that they also import because they have other plants outside. So if it happens that they need this particular product, they bring it into the system and sell alongside what they have. But all in all, what I would advocate is that the atmosphere should be created for us to be able to invest in production, local production. When we are able to do that, I tell you, these imports will be reduced. Because we can't have a country where you don't import anything. Something must be imported.
That's it for business. Sports is next.
Order. But you're not getting your map. And that's all I know. You are fired.
Malaria and tea. You are yet more bono.
What you have to figure.
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo. Ashre customers. When you say mammy, I am smart. Upper CB Malakio. I'm money buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want me.
And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB Malakio. You didn't know. And now kick out bomb as soon as I CB Malakio. And no way so there. And I know grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing your ma appeal for. About a woman for. Any quada won't in fear.
Susiana. What would you with you?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato imu adia to Musa and
Wow, October is here already and it's time for the world to go pink and pay attention to the chest of a woman. My name is Rebecca Donko, the founder of Makeup Ghana and the president of College of Beauty, Art and Entrepreneurship. And I'm excited about being the campaign ambassador for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an initiative by Sonotech Medical Center. And I consider this initiative a very important CSR, and I'm glad to be associated with an intervention which seeks to give hope and save lives. Awareness surrounding breast cancer is very important as it provides information on early detection and management. And these timely information can save lives. Know that breast cancer is treatable and manageable. So the whole of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get screened at any of the 3 branches of Sonotech Medical Center, either the Osu branch, the Tema, or the West Hills Mall, with 50% discounts on breast ultrasound and 20% on mammogram. And remember that breast cancer awareness is important, but so is breast health awareness. So let us all endeavor to play our part in giving hope and saving lives. Thank you and stay blessed.
Welcome back. Now in sports for tonight, President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okweku, believes the current Black Stars set up under new coach Milovan Rajvac is among the best the nation has ever had. After a topsy-turvy start to the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, Ghana is in a good form with back-to-back wins over Zimbabwe, a double which puts the West Africans only 1 point behind group leaders South Africa, heading into the final 2 rounds of matches.
Milovan was appointed for the second time last month and has quickly turned the Black Stars into a winning team. Rajvac assumed duty last month following the sacking of CK Akono after a 1-0 away loss to South Africa. The Serbian coach is assisted by Borussia Dortmund assistant coach Adoa. In an interview, Okweku said, "Naturally, Ghana has a very disciplined team." He says, as informed by people who have been involved in the Black Stars, that perhaps this is the most serene atmosphere they have ever experienced. Plus, mostly, Coach Milovan comes with a history. He has been there before. The likes of Dede Andre Ayew and Mubarak Wakaso, who have played with him and know him very well. They know what he likes and doesn't like, he stated. Ado comes in as a fresh face with new energy, so that also serves as an inspiration to the players in the dressing room, he added. The vibes coming out of the dressing room is so positive. There is a unity of purpose. The players stand up for each other. They work together as a unit. On Saturday, Ghana beat Zimbabwe 3-1, courtesy of goals from Thomas Partey, Andre Ayew and Mohamed Kudus. 3 days later, the Stars completed the double as Partey converted a free kick to ensure a 1-1 away win over the Warriors in Harare. The GFA boss also added that in his pre-departure for Harare speech to the team, he noted to them that it is important that they played as a block. That tells you clearly that there is hope for our tomorrow.
The Police and Army hockey teams have played a goalless drawn game in the ongoing round-robin men hockey competition. A loss for either team would have put one of the two out of contention for the ultimate prize. This set up an all-play-all final between GRA, the Police, and the Army on Saturday.
The Theodosia Oko hockey pitch. Round-robin hockey men competition was put up by the Ghana Hockey Association to prepare for the Africa Cup for Club Championship. The competition started with Exchequers and the Police team, in which Exchequers lost by 2-0. The Ghana Armed Forces team, which has recruited new players, won against Reformers to give hopes of challenging for the ultimate. The competition leaders, GRA, proved too strong for Reformers by defeating them by 2-1. However, the game between the Ghana Army hockey team and the Police hockey team ended in a goalless draw game. At the end of the game, the coach of the Police hockey team, Samuel Mafo, said that nothing went wrong for his team. Although his players played according to the instructions from the technical team, he's a little bit disappointed they couldn't utilize their chances.
Nothing went wrong. Like, we play with the instruction that we touched them, we taught them to do, and that's the right thing that they did. One way or the other, you may have some little bit problems with the players in terms of tracking back and kind of stuff. Our game plan worked a little bit for us, but we are a little bit disappointed. Maybe the short corner side that we will not be able to utilize our chances. But all hope is not lost. We have another match. That is Saturday. So we'll go back to the drawing board and visit that match on Saturday and see what will happen.
Are you happy with the officiating?
That's officiating. They are human beings, so nobody is perfect. So you just let it go. So you just concentrate on the next game. So that's the most important. The most important thing is we didn't lose. We were in the game. We played a nice game. The spectators were so happy. They watched a nice, very good game. Experienced side with a young side. And we show our character. We show our best. So we are waiting for the next match. That's the most important thing.
Okay, your team has 4 points, and then the Army team has 5. The GR has 9. Is there a cause for concern for your team?
No. It's been a long time that we play hockey actively. And let me say this. Now we are trying to merge things together, trying to change players' position and see what we can gel so that we can get more midfielders, more attackers and kind of stuff. So we are merging, and it's more of rebuilding. So we are rebuilding our team and see what we'll get in the next future. Our main concentration is the league, which will start next year. That's what we are merging. So maybe if ACC coming, then we'll move on. So that's it. We know the opponent that we play against. We came and watched them. They play in the morning. We've seen their weak side, their strong side. We address it that Saturday, and we see what will happen.
His compatriots, Chief Officer Patriot Officer 1, Taylor Patrick, head coach of the Army hockey team, bemoans the lack of experienced players on his team.
I would say they have experienced players. I have the more of the youths who graduate from juvenile. So we are just putting the talents together. You know, strength always can't the wisdom. You understand? If I should put it that way, they have a very formidable elderly chaps who plays for a longer time. So these boys are coming up, so we are grooming them.
To some entertainment news. Now, all roads lead to the Ikuapem Mountains as they celebrate their famous Odra Festival. The festival started on Tuesday, and the next feature by Wilson Emmanuel captures all that you need to know about this festive season.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome.
Ghana, made of 16 regions, is known for its diverse cultural heritage. The month of March is set aside to celebrate the country's rich and beautiful culture. From the perfectly well choreographed dance routines, melodious sounds from the kete, front on front, etumpan, gobe, and many other beautiful traditional drums. The beautiful kente and other traditional outfits is what makes this country a perfect tourist destination. As part of Adoatv's contribution towards the celebration of the month, we will walk you through our rich cultural heritage. This wonderful journey will cut across all four corners of the country. Our first stop is the eastern region of Ghana. This region is located in South Ghana. This region can proudly boast of its mountainous view, cold temperature, waterfalls, canopy walkways, dams, and mind-blowing festivals and traditions. This region is bordered to the east by the Volta Lake, to the north by the Bunu region and Ashanti region respectively, and also by the central region to the south. This region with Koforidua as its capital is made up of 5 very strong ethnic groups: the Ikuapems, Achims, Kwewu, Kobos, and the Gwans. Some notable traditional rulers in this region are the Ochehene, Osajefua Mweti Oforipening II, King of Achim Ebuakwa, Osiadeyo Kwesi Ekufo III, Ikuapem Hene, Dasibre Ekuamwa Ejapon II, Kwewu Hene, Osaberima Esidi Oko Abebio, Ikuapem Benkum, and Gwan Hene. Our heritage bar stops at the Ikuapem part of this region to explore their beautiful culture and traditions. The Odra Festival, celebrated by the people of Ikuapem, has driven thousands, if not millions, to the region. Celebrated annually in the month of September, the festival is an epitome of culture and unity, and for music lovers, a place to have some good time. During the week of this festival, the whole Ikuapem man is prepared to receive visitors. Hotels are booked ahead of time. Temporal mini restaurants are equally mounted to serve visitors and tourists alike. On the Odra Monday, the youth of each town organize clean-up exercises and public float to announce the occasion. On Tuesday, the Odra Aura is brought from the traditional forest reserve. This act is believed to summon the ancestral spirits of the Odra and later paraded through town led by the Ntumankwahine, the chief priest of the town, before finally arriving at the palace for further traditions to be performed. On the Wednesday, which is known as the Black Wednesday, the chiefs and people don black and red to signify a period of mourning and grief. Thursday, I say, is when merrymaking begins. On this day, palaces are open to the public and food is served to all that are willing to dine with the royal family and socialize with them as well. Friday morning usually are meant for indoor and outdoor games for the youth to serve as the bridge between tradition and the people. This usually follows a night of musical concerts and many other fun activities. So baby, when I go up, we're gonna get on this one now. 1, 2, 3. Around the world, baby, wanna go up. Let's jump for On Saturday, the crowning moment of this festival is the Grand Deba. This is equally accompanied by the palanquin ride through principal streets and typical display of cultural dance and traditional music. The ride ends at a town's palace or a town square. Here, a display of Moma dance, phantom from sound, and sporadic gunshots into the air are all a part of the festival.
How we wrap up tonight on the evening news on Adoatv. For more news, log on to our website www.adoanewsonline.com. Thanks to Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Vena Mineral Water. Now remember, we are still in the Breast Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Make sure you walk into any of Sonotec's branches, be it Osu, West Hills Mall, or Tema, to get your free breast screening and enjoy their other packages as well. My name is Benedicta Dodu. Thanks for staying with us. Enjoy the rest of our program.